wonderful holiday. Welcome to the month of December. Can you believe it is December 2013? And it's a month of lots of holidays. There are many traditions that are celebrating during the month of December, and so we like to celebrate with all of them. You know, this is actually Hanukkah as well, and many people overlook some of the miracles that have happened during Hanukkah. Well, what happened to a rabbi last year was he only had one day left on his cell phone, and it lasted 8 days. Miracle. So we're going to create a miracle here just by turning cell phones off. That would be a real miracle too. Well, we're always happy to see you here at Unity in Ashland. And we'd like to begin with a few announcements. We have our prayer circle every Monday at 5 o'clock. And, okay, thank you for that. And if you have any prayer requests, please fill out a prayer request form and put it in our prayer box on the back table, and it'll be prayed for. Also, if anyone would like one-on-one prayer at the end of the service today, Elma, who's way back there on the table, put your hand up, she will be happy to sit with you and pray with you. So don't go home with a heavy heart. This is a time of joy and celebration, and we want to help us all reach that. Let's see, Francie and Zoe, you have an announcement to make. Let's welcome Francie and Zoe up here.
Good morning, everybody. Happy holidays. It's officially December 1st. That means we are into the holiday season. And 2 weeks from today, we're having a Unity holiday party. So that's December 15th from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the evening. And even though your cell phones are off, if you have an iPhone, I don't mind if you text that date into your appointment calendar right now. So again, it's 2 weeks from today, the 15th of December from 7 to 10. And there's lots of good fun, connection, inspiration, and ritual coming up at that event. As always in these kinds of celebrations, especially with our church communities, we like to have it be, of course, fun and social and connecting, as well as inspirational and ritualized. So that will all be a part of it. Some of the activities that we're going to have are lots of music, some live music by our favorite musicians, Richard and Jane and Daniel and Heather and hopefully some others, as well as some music in the background. So part of that will be singing carols together. And we have some games planned that you can either participate in or choose to socialize with others instead of. We're going to have delicious, really wonderful treats that are sweet, so gluten-free, as well as fresh fruit, as well as sugared up candy, cookies, and cakes. So to accomplish all of this fun, we do want to come together as community and help pull this off. So there are several things that we need to come together with. And you could consider this some of your seva, or selfless service to God, which is, of course, an important spiritual principle for all of us, which is giving ourselves selflessly to our church community, to our friends, and to others. So we do need people who would come and help us greet. We need people who would come and help us set up beforehand. And we need people who would be willing to help us out with some waste management and some recycling sustainability during it. And we also need some help with taking down and closing the Havurah so that it's beautiful and wonderful for the next people to use it. And all of those sign-ups are on the table behind us, back there on the information table. And so we encourage you to come there after the service. Zoe, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce ourselves. I'm sorry, this is Zoe Laidlaw, and I'm Francie Parr. And one of us will be back there, and you'll probably be able to spot us. And we'd love to have you offer also any special things that you do. Maybe you tell stories or have memorized the night before Christmas, or would like to share a song of your own that evening. And so we'd welcome that. We'd welcome you coming and telling us about your special talents as well as helping us out with some seva that afternoon or evening. So, anything to add?
The sign-up sheets are all the way at the back, behind where the snacks are. So, we'd love to have you sign up. Thanks.
Is it a potluck dessert, or are you providing?
We are taking sign-ups for people who will bring desserts, so that if everybody, if enough people bring a little something to share, we'll know ahead of time that we have plenty for all. Thanks.
Thank you, Zoe and Nancy. It's a sweet treat and waste management kind of party. Doesn't get any better. Be there or be square. All right. I forgot to mention, if anyone is here for the very first time, and maybe we've never seen you before, we would love to know your name and just where you're from. Anyone in this section here for the first time? We'll start with you. What's your name?
Heather, and I'm from Port Townsend, Washington.
All right, welcome.
I have been here before, but it was years ago. I'm Roger. It's a pleasure to be here.
You were Roger years ago and you still arrived.
Many of you may know my mom, Colleen Graham.
Of course. Oh my goodness, yes. All right. Welcome. Yes. Know her from way back, yes. What's your name, sir?
My name's Kurt. I just moved to Medford about 10 months ago.
All right, welcome. Anybody in this section here for the first time? Yes, what's your name? You found what? All right, really?
Charlie was born in Medford, so we adopted him 20 years ago.
Okay. Okay, well, welcome. We're glad to see you here today. Anybody else in this section for the first time? Yes?
My name is Joan from Nevada, and I'm here with my son.
All right, welcome. Glad to see you here today. Anybody else in this section? Anybody over here? Okay, well, afterwards we have refreshments, so we hope that all of us will remember to welcome the newcomers and everybody get to know each other back there. I'm going to turn this over to Norma and Jane and Kathy, our board president right now, and they have an announcement, and then a certain angel will be introduced.
Thank you. Great to see you all today. I'm so happy that I can be here while Kathy Zavada is here ministering to us, because usually she comes and gives me a day off, and I'm happy to get to hear her today. I'll be introducing her in just a moment. Right now we're up here to talk to you about a very exciting thing, which is that I'm experiencing the support to be able to take a little time off next spring, and I've been kind of needing to do that and wanting to for quite a while, but it just feels like the right time and that there's enough stability and support in our congregation for me to be able to go in February, March, and April. And I kind of need a healing retreat of a cleansing nature, so I'm going to do that. And Nisha's going with me, so we'll have time to work together on some video projects too, so that will be great. Because usually I'm really busy during every week, and on the Sundays, Nisha teases me that most people have the weekend off, but I work all week and work all weekend too. So it's kind of intense, and I love it. I love the work that I get to do here in Ashland and amongst you, but it'll be nice to have a little sabbatical. So I'm up here to say that to you and to talk about that we're trying to do a little fundraiser so that Unity can maintain and keep going while I'm not here, and still be able to support me in going. So Kathy and Jane are going to say a little bit more about that.
Good morning, everybody. Well, we are so blessed. We have a $5,000 pledge grant to kick off Norma being able to do her sabbatical. Isn't that great? That is a matching grant. So we need your help. We need to all help Norma be able to use this. It helps our congregation. We expect these funds to help us cover our basic operational costs, her salary, and any additional costs we might have for advertising or for guest speakers. We're lining up great guest speakers while she's gone, so there won't be a bump here. And Norma needs our help. And we would just really appreciate any giving that you can do. And we have some ways you can identify that this goes toward the matching grant. There are envelopes in the offering baskets. There's a glass bowl on the back table. You can mail checks to our P.O. box, or you can visit our website and pay through PayPal, although we pay a little bit of money if you do that. So really we're asking you, Norma's not telling you, but she needs this retreat very, very much. She's tired, she has environmental health issues, and we need her to be at her best to help us and to help all the people she helps in the community and really throughout the world. So thank you so much for helping us. We would really, really appreciate it.
I just want to reiterate, it sounds like it was a working vacation, but it really is about the cleanse and her taking a break to heal some things that are going on. So that's really where I want to put the attention around the fundraising, is to help her be able to do that without stressing out about how she's going to live day by day without working. So try to give as much as you can. Thanks.
Thanks all of you that are working behind the scenes to make all of this happen. It's so exciting that we have almost every single spot filled for the speakers while I'm gone. It's great people coming along, so I think you'll really enjoy it. Now I'd like to introduce to you Kathy Zavada, and if you've been coming for a while, you've heard her before, and when people hear in town that Kathy's going to be here, there's a ripple of excitement because she's a great speaker and songwriter. She's really nationally acclaimed performing recording artist who's produced a lot of sacred music. She's ordained in interfaith ministry too, and she's a longtime retreat and workshop leader. Kathy's actually produced 11 CDs of original music in the last 23 years. And right now she's excited because she has a new CD coming out that's based on songs from the book, The Untethered Soul. How many of you have read The Untethered Soul? Yeah. It's a great book. You can get it at Soundpiece, and Kathy's going to be speaking and singing from it today, so I'm really excited to have Kathy Zavada with us here today. Give her a big round of applause.
Thank you, and good morning. I'm thrilled to be here with you today, and I'm going to begin with a song, and this is from the new CD, Songs of the Untethered Soul. And it's this song might be a little ambitious because I want us to do a round. Are we up for that? I hear you guys are great singers here, so I'll teach you a song. We'll sing it through twice, and then what we'll do is we'll start over. And we'll just imagine there's a line right down the middle. This side, you'll just keep going with the song, and you guys will start over with the song. And I'll look at you. When we get to that point, I'll look at you with these big eyes. that means I'm singing your part, okay? And it's okay, you can't sing a wrong part, so don't worry about it, okay? Most of all, just really let yourself feel the message. The message, this is called, When Will I Live in the Love of My Heart? So the words are, there's a place in my heart where the love is always flowing, place in my heart where the Lord I'm always knowing. When may I live in the love of my heart? When may I live in the love of my heart? There's a place in my heart where the love
What a beautiful beginning. Oh. Turn to someone nearby you and tell them that you're glad they're here and welcome them and share your name if you don't know each other's names. To welcome our children this morning too. Are there any little ones here? The age of 18 who wouldn't mind coming up here? Patrice is their wonderful teacher. Look. Okay. Omanasa. Hi, you guys. I'm glad you're here. Oh, look. You guys are cute. Hi, sweetie. Hi, sweetie. Thanks for coming up. Nova's here too. Great. Did you all have fun at Thanksgiving? Yeah. Did you go to the Thanksgiving Day parade? No. Did you? No. The Christmas one? Yeah. With Santa Claus coming down the street? Yeah. Yeah. You did? Did you see the Santa Claus? You got a candy cane?
With my friend Nuna.
Oh, nice.
And we were trying to catch Santa Claus. No.
Well, pretty soon he's going to come right to your house. And so leave him some cookies and milk, okay? Okay. Come here, Nova, playing the sounds of the cosmos for us. Well, we're really glad that you're here. And you bring a lot of excitement to our service. We want you to all go and have a lot of fun with Patrice. Let's rub our hands together, adults, and bring our loving energy to the kids and thank them for being here. And we say this prayer for you, this blessing that we say, we love you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ light shining in you. Thanks for being here and have a good time with Patrice. Well, let's take a deep breath. And by way of creating our sacred space together, Kathy gave me a beautiful quote to read from Michael Singer, who wrote The Untethered Soul. And it reminds me of when I spoke about Christian mysticism at our Thanksgiving gathering the other day. This is definitely a mystical quote. And so just maybe close your eyes and receive it and feel the truth of it in your own being. Deep within us, there is a direct connection to the divine. There's a part of our being that is beyond our personal self. And we can consciously choose to identify with this rather than with the psyche or the body. Deep within you, there is a direct connection to the divine. Let's pray together. Our great Mother, Father, God, it is a mystery. It is an awesome truth that deep within each one of us, you are there. You meet us when we're quiet and listen. You meet us in nature. You meet us in the dark night of the soul. You meet us everywhere we go. As the psalmist said, there is nowhere we can go that you are not there. So in this moment, we quiet ourselves and we enter into this deeper zone of freedom, sacred space. And we know that you are here with us. we know that we can breathe in the mystery, that we can feel the healing powers coming into our bones, that there's not a single place in us that isn't infused by your light. So come, be with us now. We need you. We reach out with our hearts and welcome you. Welcome. Come and bless us. Come and be with us now. And so it is. Amen.
I'd like to share a song with you that was inspired by the beautiful nature of Mount Shasta, where I still live. And it's a place I go and I sit on a rock and I gaze at the mountain and I gaze at the sunlight sparkling on the water, and I just let go of my personal self. I let go of Kathy Zavada. And I feel connected. I feel connected to that sunlight and to the breeze in the trees, and there's usually an eagle or a hawk. And I just let myself out of being identified with just this form, this personal self. So I invite you to just take a moment and breathe that in and let yourself go and open to that place where you are connected with everything as I sing this. It's called One With It All.
On the breeze in the trees there
This is another amazing synchronicity because Kathy asked me to choose something to read out of the book Untethered Soul, and this reading that I opened up to follows the song, and I'm sure your theme, just so perfectly. This is such a great book. Here's an excerpt. Ultimately, the word beyond captures the true meaning of spirituality. It is, in its most basic sense, going beyond means going past where you are. It means not staying in your current state. Beyond is infinite in all directions. If you take a laser beam and aim it in any direction, it will go on for infinity. It would only cease to be infinite if you created an artificial boundary that it could not penetrate. Boundaries create the appearance of finiteness in infinite space. Things seem finite because your perception hits mental boundaries. In truth, everything is infinite. It is you who takes that which goes on forever and talks about a mile from here. What is a mile from here? It's nothing but a piece of infinity. There really are no limits. There's just the infinite universe. I skip over a couple pages here. Going beyond always means letting go of the effort to keep things within your defined limits. So there are two ways you can live. You can devote your life to staying in your comfort zone, or you can work on your freedom. In other words, you can devote your whole life to the process of making sure everything fits within your limited model, or you can devote your life to freeing yourself from the limits of your model. And then he goes on to talk about a tiger in the cage at the zoo, and that you may get upset when you see a tiger confined to a small cage, but it's the cages that we create with our minds for ourselves that are really, really upsetting. When you truly awake spiritually, you realize that you are caged. You wake up and realize that you can hardly move inside of the structures that you've built. You're constantly hitting the limits of your comfort zone. You see that you're afraid to tell people what you really think. You see that you're too self-conscious to freely express yourself. You see that you have to stay on top of everything in order to be okay. These are all the ways we can relate to, can't we? That we keep ourselves in our own cages. So the last part of it here. So, would you like to go beyond?
Yes.
Would you like to feel no edges? Yes, we vote yes. Imagine a comfort zone that is so expanded that it can easily fit the entire day, no matter what happens. Don't you like that?
Yes.
The day unfolds and the mind doesn't say anything. You simply interact with the day with a peaceful, fully inspired heart. If your edges happen to get hit, the mind doesn't complain. It all just passes through. This is how great beings live. When you are trained like a great athlete to immediately relax through your edges when they get hit, then the cage is gone. You realize that you will always be fine. Nothing can ever bother you except your edges. And now you know what to do with them. You end up loving your edges because they point your way to freedom. All you have to do is constantly relax and lean into them. Then one day, when you least expect it, you fall through into the infinite. That is what it means to truly go beyond.
Wow, that is really perfect as far as what I'm going to speak on today. Perfect. So I'd like to share a song. I'm going to tell you about Michael Singer and tell you about my whole journey meeting him 38 years ago.
The author of Untethered Soul.
Yeah, and he also wrote this next song that I'm going to sing, this chant. And it's another chant I'm going to teach you, and we're going to chant it, and I want you to just kind of let it take you into a meditation, a space of meditation, and then I'll lead a meditation. Then we'll go on to the talk. So it goes so perfectly with that reading, and the words are, who lights the stars at night? Who shines the sun? Who lights the stars at night? Who shines the sun? To this one I give my life until my days are done. To this one I give my heart till we merge as one. So I just invite you to sing. I'll sing it and just join me. And most of all, just really let yourself contemplate who lights the stars, who shines the sun, who is this one? So just taking a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just letting go, relaxing the body. And again, breathing in with awareness, breathing in peace. And as you exhale, releasing, letting go. And just taking a couple more conscious breaths, we can place our conscious attention on just breathing, breathing peacefully, deeply in, and breathing out, letting go, releasing any tension, any stress in the body. Breathing in peace, and as you exhale, letting go of any difficult feelings, any stuck energy, any pain that's held anywhere in the body. And we can just take a moment to consider who lights the stars, who shines the sun, who makes it possible for life to be in this body. Who is it that is asking? Who is it that's noticing that this body breathes in deep, breathes out? Who is this one that I am? Just taking a moment to ask this question and become aware of the awareness in your own being. That place in you that is always there, observing, watching life. That place that is always connected. That place deep inside that is connected to the divine. That place where we can rest, where we can go home and let go and be held in infinite love. Who is this mysterious one that is so much love, that is always there? So I just invite you to be aware of breathing in peace. Be aware of breathing out release, letting go a little bit more. And just remember, all it takes is a couple of conscious breaths to return to yourself. To return to the awareness of being, to return to your true nature that is infinite, that is one with who lights the stars. So when you're ready, you can slowly now expand your awareness to being aware of not only your breath, but your body, and all the bodies here in this sacred holy place. And when you're ready, you can slowly take your time, bringing your awareness now back into the room, and preparing now for the message. Good morning. How are you? Are you out there in the stars? Oh, I kind of went. Well, this morning, as you know, I'm speaking on how we live with an untethered heart and soul. And I'm going to be quoting a lot from the book, The Untethered Soul. And I'm also singing some music from this new CD that Michael Singer and I just released last month called Songs of the Untethered Soul, which are these beautiful little, you've heard a couple, but they're these beautiful little devotional chants that kind of really encapsulate his teaching. And he's such a devotional being. He's amazing. But let me give you a little history to start with. You know how in life there's a small handful of people that really make a huge difference in your life, that kind of change everything about your destiny? Michael Singer is really one of those people in my life. He really set me on my course to be who I am today, and just watered those seeds of spirituality in me, and just really helped me wake up at such a young age. I met him when I was 15 years old, in 1975. Now you know how old I am. But way back, gosh, I was trying to remember, how many years is that? 38 years ago. My gosh, it's like a past life. But I met him when I lived in Gainesville, Florida, and he had built this really neat little temple in the woods called Temple of the Universe outside of Gainesville, Florida. And I had heard about it, and I got my mom to take me. I couldn't even drive yet. Got my mom to take me. And I had tried a few Christian churches because I was really feeling a need for spirituality in my life, and I just didn't relate to the concept of original sin. Definitely didn't relate to that. I didn't relate to guilt and shame and hell. I did not relate to hell. I felt that God is love. I felt that God is love. And oh my goodness, that auspicious morning, that first morning that my mom took me there, tears just flowed, and my soul resonated, and I knew I was home. And I felt a connection with him from perhaps other lives. I felt such a deep, deep connection with him. But he spoke of our nature as consciousness, and he spoke of our inherent oneness with that, And he spoke of the love and the peace and the bliss that is our true nature. And I just really knew that was true. It resonated with my heart, and I was overjoyed. So for years, I went back there, and I'd go a couple times a week. You know, I finally got my car. I could take myself. And, I went for many, many years. And then years later, after I moved to California, I would go back and give chanting programs at the temple. And in fact, the last time I was there, I learned that song that we just did, Who Lights the Stars. But Mickey, what's amazing about our journey, what's amazing about the whole journey is he wrote a book many, many, many years later, The Untethered Soul, which is a collection of his talks. And it's just the way he talks. It's really, you know, when you listen to him speak and you read the book, it's just like he's standing there speaking. And years after the book came out, Oprah found it. Somebody left it in her house. And she loved it, and she called him and said, would you do an interview on TV? And he's like, well, you know, it's hard to get me out of the woods, but for you, Oprah. He did his first TV interview with Oprah, and then, of course, the book took off, and it's been the New York Times #1 bestseller off and on for the last couple of years. So that's the story. But what's really inspiring about, I call him Mickey. The people that know Michael Singer well call him Mickey. What's really inspiring about him is that he remains in the woods. He just remains there, and he is there meditating every morning and every night. And he speaks 3 times a week, and he's been doing this since 1975. And he does not leave the woods. I think he left for that Oprah interview in Chicago, maybe. But otherwise, he doesn't leave, and nothing's changed about him. He could care less about fame. He cares about being awake, and he cares about supporting everybody else, anyone else that's interested in that. So that is the backstory to why I'm really excited to share these teachings today. Now, one of my favorite chapters in the book is the last chapter, The Loving Eyes of God. And I love that you read that quote, but I want to read it again because it's so powerful. He says, deep within us, there is a direct connection to the divine. There is a part of our being that is beyond the personal self. We can consciously choose to identify with this rather than the psyche or the body. This is the key to our evolution. This is the key to our freedom, to our happiness. What does it feel like to identify more with spirit than with form? He says, you used to walk around feeling anxiety and tension. Now you walk around feeling love. He says, you just feel love for no reason. Your backdrop is love. Your backdrop is openness, beauty, and appreciation. A few weeks ago, I had the pleasure of working with another amazing spiritual luminary, Barbara Marks Hubbard, and we worked together down in Santa Barbara, and she was talking about how our evolution right now is paramount. We have to wake up. And she calls what we're moving into the ultra-human. And Eckhart Tolle says really similar things, and he says our next stage of evolution is a moving beyond the mind. A moving beyond the mind, above and beyond the mind. And many, many years ago, I read the teachings of Sri Aurobindo, who is a yogi. He was a yogi in India. And back in the 40s, he said our next stage of evolution is called the suprahuman. He called it the supramental human. And again, it's a going beyond and above the mind, beyond. I love that you read that because that really ties in to what I'm talking about today. So what is it to go beyond the mind? If you look around at our world, we have really explored the realm of thinking, the realm of mind or information to such an extreme that we have to do things like go on an internet detox retreat. Did you know? There are internet detox retreats. In fact, I give a lot of retreats, and people come to my retreat, and I have to encourage them to have an internet detox retreat. You know, we have become so addicted to mental stimulation as a society that we often have multiple gadgets feeding us information every moment. I recently was on a flight to Phoenix, and I couldn't believe how everybody is on all their gadgets. They have an iPhone, they have an iPad, they have an iPod, they have an iThis, they have an iThat, and a laptop too. And they just have to constantly have information coming in. And it's funny, I mean, when the flight's about to take off and they tell you to turn everything off, people are like anxious. They're like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do with myself? I don't have stimulation. I don't have mental stimulation. And I could feel that. I could kind of feel the anxiety people where I was like, oh, thank goodness. But boy, as soon as they tell you can turn it back on, boy, everybody gets those things right back on. So what is needed for our evolution is we must turn off the gadgets and computers and give time for meditation. Give time to self-reflection. Give time for nature. Give time for spiritual practice. And give time for selfless service so we can experience something beyond our personal self. So we can experience something beyond the ego mind, okay? So we begin by number one, resting the mind, by taking a break from incessant mental stimulation and turn our attention to decreasing the amount of thoughts and noticing them from witness consciousness. And this is what the most basic meditation does for us. We can develop the capacity to rest in the awareness of our being. And this allows us to look at thoughts, look at feelings, look at the story that we tell about our lives from a place of awareness. When we did the meditation, did you have a moment of feeling yourself as awareness? That's something we can really develop. We can develop our capacity to be more identified with the witness, more identified with the observer who's watching. That is the key. That's what it's all about. So this place is what Mickey's talking about when he says, as you let go and willingly release the physical, emotional, and mental aspects of your being, spirit becomes your state. Spirit becomes your state. When I was in Santa Barbara a few weeks ago, I gave a retreat, and this man came that was so broken. He felt that he was just beyond repair. He felt that he was just so full of despair that nothing could help him. And I could feel that. I could see that in him, in his being. And with just a little bit of spiritual practice, with just a little meditation, a little simple encouragement to rest the mind, to not be identified fully with what the mind is telling you, with the story the mind's telling you. And with just a little bit of chanting that opened his heart, and just a little bit of time in nature and in quiet and in this womb of love and spiritual practice, he blossomed. He blossomed. He opened. His mind rested. His heart opened. And I saw the light of awareness, the light of consciousness come back on in him. And I mean, he got the gold star for the most transformation by the end of that weekend. It was so beautiful to see. I live for that. Nothing excites me more than to see that light come back on. And it's simple. It's actually so simple, but we have to stop all the busyness. We have to stop all the information and the over-mentalized input and rest the mind. Mickey says, spiritual growth can be experienced just like anything else. You may have experienced a time in your life when you felt a lot of negativity, anger, and resentment. You know how the heart feels and what your thoughts and actions are like from that space. If you grow past that part of you, over time you will actually drift away from the feelings of tension and anxiety. The feelings may still be there, but you don't identify with them or hold on to them, so they can no longer hold on to you. As you release the lower vibrations, you naturally stop thinking that they're you, or that there's anything you have to do about them. As you let go of them, your spirit drifts upward. In other words, you feel more spacious inside. So over the years, every now and then I go back to the temple. And in the temple, there's this little back room. It's like a little monk's room with a little single bed and all these spiritual books and all these pictures of saints. And I love staying in that particular room. And every single day we get up at about 5:30 and we meditate for an hour, and then we chant for an hour this beautiful verse from the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is teaching Arjuna about enlightenment. Then we say a prayer, and then we go outside and we're done. And then in the evenings, again, we meditate, and 3 nights a week Mickey gives a talk, and then we chant for a long time, and that's it. So it's just this constant spiritual practice, and there's a reason. There's a reason for spiritual practice, for daily spiritual practice. If we want to become free of the suffering that the mind and the feeling, the emotional body can create, we have to spend time in meditation, some kind of meditation, and there's a real variety of meditations. But we have to learn to observe the mind and not be completely lost in the thoughts, okay? And if you want your heart to be open and filled with love, I think chanting is one of the best practices. I love singing my prayers. Chanting is really about singing your prayers. And if you want to grow in wisdom, it's imperative to have a great spiritual teacher, if possible. You can experience that through books, but if you can meet someone in person, that's really wonderful, to have spiritual teachers. So let's look at what the Untethered Soul says about meditation. In the chapter, The Lucid Self, Mickey says, true meditation is the highest state. Meditation practice begins with realizing that the consciousness within us has the capacity to concentrate on one thing. The consciousness within us has the capacity to concentrate on one thing. This is inherent to us. I mean, when your teachers, when your parents said, concentrate, when you were a little kid, you knew what that meant. So we can concentrate on one thing. And beginning meditation is often the focus on the breath. That's what I had you do for just a few minutes this morning. Just simply focusing on the breath, learning to concentrate on one thing. But Mickey says at some point we learn to go beyond concentration And we turn the attention of consciousness back on itself. This is what the non-dual teachings are all about when they ask, who am I? Who am I? Who is noticing? Who's noticing I'm having this thought? Who's noticing I'm having this feeling? Instead of being lost in the movie of the events of our lives, we can in any moment turn our attention to who's noticing the events, who's noticing the feelings and the thoughts, who's witnessing. And in that moment, we wake up to our true nature. We have a moment of being awake when we rest in awareness. It's that simple. And when we are resting in awareness, the world is no longer a problem. And that's the key. That's what we're looking for, is for the world to no longer be a problem, to not suffer anymore. So the big key to our present evolution is turn off the information. Turn off the information and meditate more. Rest your mind from over mental stimulation. The second thing I want to talk about is being at peace with inner disturbance, which is part of what you were touching on in the reading. Most people suffer from difficult emotions, and we spend an enormous amount of time trying to be okay inside. And we run around and we try to make everything on the outside just so, get everything just in the right place so that we can feel okay inside. And Mickey talks about this a lot. In chapter 11, I love this chapter, Paying the Price of Freedom, he says, decide you're going to learn to not be afraid of inner pain and disturbance. If you want to be free, simply view inner pain as a temporary shift in your energy flow. There's no reason to fear this experience. He says every single time you relax and release, a piece of the pain leaves forever. Yet every time you resist and close, you're building up the pain inside. Okay? It's like damming a stream. To feel great love and freedom, to find the presence of God within you, all this stored pain must go. Okay? It's in this inner work that spirituality becomes a reality. Love that. So the last point I want to make today is how important it is to expand your perspective. To expand your perspective. And I find time in nature so helpful for this. You know, I have my walk at the lake I do almost every day, in every weather, all the weather. But I love this quote from Mickey about moving from the narrow to the expansive. When you start to explore consciousness instead of form, you realize your consciousness only appears to be small and limited because you're focusing on small and limited objects. You can pull back and see everything. You can move from the finite to the infinite. You can move from the finite to the infinite. I love what you read. It reminded me of an experience I had at the temple. The last time I was there, we sang that song, Who Lights the Stars, and Mickey leads the chant, and he plays keyboard, and it's simple keyboard. But we were singing the song, Who Lights the Stars, and over and over and over, and I was really getting kind of expanded from that. And after the program was over, we went outside, and Mickey said, come here, I want to show you something. And I went for a short walk with him to this big open field. And it was a dark night, there was a million stars in the sky. And he said, let's look up at the night sky. And he had these brand new binoculars that were like these really fancy high-powered telescopes, you know, in this fancy pair of binoculars. So he showed me a nebula, and then he showed me the Pleiades, and then he showed me the Andromeda Galaxy. And, you know, after singing this song and then just looking at the sky, my mind just went, phew! And then his consciousness too, and it just really expanded out. And I just will never forget that. I'll never forget that. It's so important to expand our mind and realize we're here in this body, on this little clump of dirt, spinning in space around just one star, and there's trillions of stars, and there's trillions of planets and galaxies and universes out there. So it's really important to, you know, put things back in perspective, to expand our perspective. So in closing, let me just kind of reiterate 5 keys to living with an untethered soul. The first is become untethered to your iPhone and your computer. I think I might write a new book. Number 2, meditate more, or start meditating, and learn to first concentrate, to decrease thoughts, and to become more of a witness, and then learn to rest in awareness and identify with awareness more. Third thing, decide you're not going to be afraid of inner pain and disturbance. Okay, it's part of life. Learn to embrace the stored pain within and release it. Okay? Number 4, decide you don't have to control everything to be happy. I love this. I remember one of his teachings that I don't think is in the book. He said that we're mostly a 3rd chakra planet. We're all about control and power and control right here. And that our evolution is to move into the 4th chakra. It's really to move into that place of surrender to love, where love lives you. Love lives you. Instead of thinking we have or can control everything. Because we can't. We can't control. We can't control everything, and it's a much more beautiful place to just rest in presence and allow life to be. Do what you can to change things, but don't be attached. The last thing is expand your perspective. Do what opens your mind. Every night after my bath, after a little meditation, I go out my little deck and I look at the stars. And it's a little spiritual practice. Takes me 4 to 5 minutes. And it just really helps me stay awake to a wider reality. So as a line in one of my songs goes, no more pain, no more tears. Come to me with your fears and give them up. Surrender into love. Remember who you are. You're vaster than a million stars. You're everything you could ever want to be. May we remember this. Maybe we wake up to the truth of who we are as consciousness, as awareness, as glorious, pure, infinite love and being. Thank you all so much. God bless.
Well, this is Thanksgiving time, and you've just had a feast, haven't you? A blessing to our souls to hear those kind of words that remind us who we really are. And now it's time for us to bless others with our offering. And we ask those people giving the offering to come forward.